On today's show, you're going to meet a woman determined to change the way we buy energy. Hello, I'm Shannon Skinner, and this is Extraordinary Women TV. My first guest today is Rebecca McDonald. She is the Executive Chair of Just Energy Group. She has won numerous awards, including the top woman CEO and Entrepreneur of the Year, including many others. Later in the segment, before we take a break, I'll have my regular Good to Know Minute. When I ask my guests for their top success tip, you're going to hear Rebecca's. In the second half of the show, we're going to be talking about energy of a different kind. So stay with us. Hello, Rebecca McDonald.
How are you?
I'm so well. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
It is so nice to have you here. Such a privilege and honor. So I'm grateful that you can come and share some wisdom and inspiration of your journey. You're a very successful businesswoman in Canada.
Yes, I am, I guess.
And your success started somewhere before you got to the place that you're at.
Well, you know what I always say, every big business is a small business, and I had a number of lives in business career before I got where I am. So I ran 2 private companies before this one, and then in '97 we founded this one, and the rest is history.
So originally you're from Yugoslavia.
Former Yugoslavia, yeah. I have to say that because it doesn't exist anymore.
That's right.
And I'm Serbian from Yugoslavia, yeah. Born in Sarajevo, raised in Belgrade, came in the early 70s to Canada, and you know, had a typical immigrant story like most immigrants. Hard times at the beginning, many mistakes. You learn hopefully from your mistakes, and then you move on.
And what are the challenges that you faced, like so many other immigrants coming to Canada? So you didn't speak the language.
Well, it was difficult. Yeah, you're right. But you know, I would say aside from the language, the biggest challenge was learning the way things operate in this country, because it is different than Europe. I was a relatively young woman then, and it's almost that I had to go back and re-educate myself. The way I was raised and the way things are done here are somewhat different. The way, you know, I was raised in a socialist country that really didn't have business. It was socialism, so I had to learn about sales, I had to learn about contracts, I had to learn about contractual law, and there was a lot of things that you had to learn before you opened up the business and tried. And that's one of the reasons I love always donating my time for women, because women, particularly in North America, are sometimes wary of getting into businesses because the culture was such that doesn't cater to females in business. It's all about the guys.
Now, before you started Just Energy, then you had a few companies, and somewhere along the line you got married.
Yes, somewhere along the line I got married. I fell in love to drop that gorgeous guy. Mm-hmm. I always said he was my Jack Kennedy, and I loved his looks and I loved his name. Had a couple of kids that are unquestionably probably my biggest achievement, and now I have 3 grandchildren and hopefully more in the future.
Wow, so you're quite busy.
I'm busy. I'm busy.
So at some point you started Just Energy. So first, before we talk about how you got the idea, what is Just Energy?
Just Energy is a retailer of energy, natural gas and electricity. That's the simplest way I can explain it. In 1986, Canadian government deregulated natural gas industry through Halloween Accord, and we were the first jurisdiction in the world to deregulate, before US, before UK, before Australia. And in some respects, we wrote a book on how to retail energy. Everyone else in the world watched what we did and did certain things differently, maybe better, but we were the first. And I saw the opportunity in '89 with my first company. I was always in the same business, and started a business in '89 and sold it in '95, and then started another one in UK in '95, sold it in '97. And in '97, I started this with the idea of building the company and taking it public, because women normally don't take businesses public in Canada. That's not what women do.
Why do you think we don't?
Well, I think there is corporate culture. There is a lot of naysaying at the bank level. I always say things are changing somewhat, but banks used to look at women as a risk versus the opportunity, and I almost didn't go public. When I was supposed to do my roadshow, there was only one bank that was willing to underwrite us, which was CIBC. No other bank wanted to underwrite us. I was too much of a risk.
Because you were, do you feel because you're a woman that had...
I felt definitely it had to do everything.
Yeah.
Without me being a woman, being in energy business, and having an accent. So it wasn't very palatable for some of the people on the banking side. They never really believed, I guess, that we can have a good model and we can be successful. And it proved them wrong.
So you were determined then to create a company that would go public.
Yes.
And
yes,
of course it has.
It has. We went public on Toronto Stock Exchange 11 years ago, and over the years we set all kinds of records. We did extremely well. We generated tremendous returns to the shareholders, and just on February 13th I rang the bell at New York Stock Exchange. So
congratulations.
That was one of my things in my on my bucket list to do, and we did it, so I'm very happy about that. So now we trade in Toronto and New York. So
do you remember that moment you decided that this was the kind of company that you wanted to start?
Yes, I remember. That was '89, and I came across the regulation. Someone mentioned it to me, and I thought it was fascinating that I'm at the actual birth of a brand new industry in North America that is kind of giving everyone the same shot. And that, to me, was very special. And the moment I knew I would do this is the moment my late husband told me that I was completely out of my mind, that I could never do this. And that was the determining moment for me that said, yeah, I'll do it.
So was it one of those moments where you said, I'll show you?
Of course. It was totally one of those moments. He had his own small business at the time, and I did say, yeah, I'll show you. What, I mean, how can you tell me I can't do something? So.
Like Pierre Trudeau and his watch me. So just watch me, I'll do it. And
yeah,
you did.
I did. I had no idea what I was doing. You know, there was a lot of ad hoc and a lot of learning. But one thing I can say in business, I never made the same mistake twice. I learned from my mistakes, and I made every single one. Very often when I speak to either at universities or to different groups, standard question that I get from the audience is, oh, did you make a mistake? Of course I made a mistake. Every successful business person makes a mistake. Some just don't want to talk about it. I do. It's okay making mistakes. Nothing wrong with that.
Do you regret any mistakes?
That's a very good question. I regret few, but, you know, they were done. What can you do? So
do you see a mistake as something we learn from, or that it's just really a lesson?
Absolutely.
In our way?
Oh, yeah. Every mistake should be a lesson. And, you know, very often I used to say, when you have children, you don't come with instructions of how that child is going to behave. When you have a business, you really cannot have total instructions of how that business is going to behave. So there will be a lot of trial and error, and you do make mistakes, but then you correct it.
So, when your husband thought you were completely lost it, and then you started it, and once you got it going and you knew it was going to be successful, how did you feel inside?
Oh, I felt fabulous. It was one of those I told you. Probably the biggest satisfaction was the day when he came to me and said, well, I would like to move my sales force with your company. And I said, oh, that's interesting. Unfortunately, he died very soon after that. So he never really saw potential that this business, I always thought could be, and that this business achieved. But you can't have it all in life. That's what I decided.
And so you had 3 children?
No, 2.
2 children and 3 grandchildren, is that right?
Yes. I had 2 children and 3 grandchildren, and it's very difficult when you lose a husband. It's much harder when children lose a father. It was very, very traumatic experience for my children, and I made a fundamental decision then never to remarry. I actually decided the wife thing I don't do well. It's not my calling, and if you're trying to be a mother and run a business and be a partner or wife, I couldn't do all of them well. So made a decision, that's it, I am not remarrying again. I'm just going to focus on the children and on the business. And it was a right decision for me. I'm not suggesting it's for everyone, but it is for me.
We're going to take a break, Rebecca, and that means it's my Good to Know Minute, and I know that you have a great tip. So jump in there with your success tip.
Okay. I would say if you are thinking of going into the business, 2 things you have to do. You have to be in love of what you want to do. You will have to love that business, and then you have to be very focused. What I always say, you have to be laser focused. If you don't love what you do, you will not be successful. You will dread every moment you have to go to work. And if you're not laser focused, you will not achieve the heights that I believe you will achieve when you're laser focused. You could try different things, and you might reach certain level of success in each one of them, but it's never going to be that high as it is when you're totally focused on one thing.
Well, that is good to know. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, more with Rebecca McDonald, Executive Chair of Just Energy Group. So stay where you are. Welcome back. I'm Shannon Skinner, and I'm speaking with Rebecca McDonald, Executive Chair of Just Energy Group. Rebecca, what is green energy?
It's an energy that does not pollute the environment.
Right.
And energy generated through the windmills, biomass, run of the river, solar, that's your green. It's energy of the future, something that will, long run, in my opinion, make us very independent, not in my lifetime, but for the future generation, will make us independent from the brown electrons. It's expensive to produce it, but if I look at energy field, that's the future.
Can you give me an example of something that is that's working really well?
Well, a number of windmills are working very well.
Yeah.
And solar panels are working well. The cost is prohibitive to some people, but at the end of the day, when you look at technology over the years, the technology changes and gets cheaper and cheaper. Think about how much did we used to pay for the phone?
Right. Yeah.
And now it's next to nothing. So over time, solar panel technology and the windmill technology is going to get more and more affordable.
Right. Well, it sounds like it's almost like a trendy business to be in.
I always think it's sexy. Being green, has a sex appeal to it. Because energy is by and large boring.
Well, you know, Rebecca, I mean, this has been really an interesting journey that you've had, and I'm sure that, I mean, I know that you had some challenges as a businesswoman getting financing off the ground. Were there any other sort of great challenges that you had in getting this business, and even maybe not even just getting it off the ground, but perhaps, you know, bringing right up to date? What would have been your greatest challenge?
Well, you know, in any business, I think your greatest challenge is people, because Just Energy Group is not Rebecca McDonald. It's a whole group of people, and probably the biggest challenge always is creating a team that works very well. So that took a while, and you do a lot of trial and errors, and sometimes you think some people will work out, they don't work out. So at this stage of my life, I'm the happiest I have ever been, because I have a very cohesive group, incredible team, great team effort in United States and Canada. So it took a lot of work to get there, but you know, that's life.
And you know, in those times where it was a struggle getting this business going, because we know that any new business is not easy. So, but in those times that were tough for you, you know, where did you find that support, and how did you keep going?
I would say my family, my children were my inspiration.
Okay.
If I didn't have them, and if they were not so dependent on me, I might have given up or done something else, taken an easier route, because running a business is never easy. But they inspired me. I wanted to create, being a first-generation Canadian, wanted to create an opportunity for them that I didn't have. I wanted to create a better life, and I never really set out to build a big business. I set out to build a business that will give me independence, and then things just kept rolling, because the business just grew and grew, and the opportunity got bigger and bigger.
What keeps you up at night?
Regarding my business, not many things anymore. I used to worry very much about the governments, because we operate in the deregulated business that's highly regulated, but I don't worry about that anymore. So what keeps me up at night is more like, how is my health? Am I gonna make next 5 or 10 years? That's what I worry more today than ever before.
And you know, you raised something that's really interesting, because I mean, I have interviewed a number of women, and one of the greatest challenges women face that are in business or have a career and a family is trying to balance that, and then that me time and taking care of themselves.
That's hard. That is hard, and after all of these years and all kinds of books and trials and errors, I still don't have a balance.
Is it possible? Is balance actually possible? If you want to really succeed and do what Rebecca McDonald has done, is it possible?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it sounds great, but eventually, if you have the drive, something will suffer. So when I was starting the business, I missed on all the kids' plays and basketball games and soccer games. I missed it because I had to be at work. So if I would go and watch it, then the work would suffer. So it's a difficult balance. It's much easier for me today because kids are grown up, they have their own family, so I only really have business. Now I just have to make sure I balance my time with my grandchildren, because they're the only ones that really want to spend time with me. My kids are off doing their own thing.
So you've got a busy career, busy business, family life, and at the same time you still manage to find time for community and to be involved in community and charities. And I know that you created the Rebecca McDonald Center for Arthritis and Autoimmune research at Mount Sinai.
Yes. I'm very passionate, very passionate about different charities, and I always believe that once you reach certain level of success, it's a responsibility that you have towards another group of human beings that are not as fortunate.
To give back.
To give back. You have to give back. And fortunately, I suffered from a very severe case of rheumatoid arthritis, and I realized through my journey that there was no facility that was a go-to facility for rheumatoid arthritis and autoimmune diseases. And I met a fabulous doctor, Dr. Keith Stone, that made me better. And I promised that I will create facility that will be state-of-the-art, that's going to marry the genetics with the new therapies and new drugs that will be accessible to everyone. And what was very close to me is that rheumatoid arthritis is a disease that affects over 75% women versus male. And women that get it, they get it in their prime years, between whatever, mid-30s to 50. As autoimmune disease, you could learn so much from it because it's an overactive immune system. And then you've got on the other spectrum, you've got your cancer that's underactive immune system. So I thought building a facility like that will give researchers opportunity to learn a lot more about all kinds of autoimmune diseases. And Sinai is a phenomenal facility.
Sure is.
You know, it's a go-to facility for many things, but particularly for rheumatoid arthritis. I mean, I had my kids there, and I'm very passionate about the hospital.
And of course, this is not a small undertaking either.
No, but you know, it's good for the country, it's good for the city, and I love walking in there and seeing how many patients are being helped on a day-to-day basis. It gives me a great deal of pleasure. It really does.
If you could do it all over again, would you do it the same way?
If I could do it all over again, I would get into the same industry, and I would do most of the things the same way, but I would do few things differently. I went public too quickly. Now I know I would have not gone that quickly. I would have waited longer, but you live and learn. So, you know, I think I was too anxious to do certain things too quickly, but it worked out.
What's next for you?
Right now we are the largest in Canada. We are a dominant player in Canada. We operate in 14 states in the United States. But our market penetration just started there. It's a huge market. So next is to be dominant player in United States, and we are opening UK. And then after that, we want to dominate UK. It's all about domination.
Dominate. Soon will be the world.
Oh, I don't know about the world. I'm happy with North America.
And then Mars. After Earth, then it's Mars, right?
No. North America is good, and a little bit of Europe. But we are in a very good space. Company is doing extremely well. We are very happy.
So if there's one message that you would like women out there to get from you, what would it be?
I want them to believe in themselves. I always say, if Rebecca McDonald can do it, you can do it too. So just believe in yourself, and don't let anybody shake your beliefs. Just go for it. I love that commercial from Nike. Just do it.
Well, Rebecca, we have run out of time, unfortunately, and I have just really enjoyed this so much. So thank you for coming on the show today, sharing your insights and your wisdom with my viewers, and I wish you all the best with all that you do.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure, particularly knowing that this is geared towards the women. I love it.
Well, thank you for that.
You're very welcome.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be talking about energy of a different kind. So stay with us. And of course, for more information about Rebecca McDonald, you can visit my website at extraordinarywomentv.com. Her episode page will have this video, her bio, and other information. So please do check the website. And for more information about upcoming guests and shows, you can also visit extraordinarywomentv.com. You can reach me through that website, and also follow me on Twitter, Facebook, lots of places to find me. So thanks for watching. We'll take a break, and when we come back, you're going to be meeting a doula.